Haddad. We'll talk a little bit about what the role of the school counselor is. Mr. Tyler, our social worker, will talk. And then Ms. Owsianko will talk about Link Crew, and then there'll be time for questions. So before we get started, Mr. Haddad is just going to start with an opening prayer.
Thanks, Kelly. Welcome, everybody. And we begin in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Blessed are you, Lord God, creator of body and mind and heart. You have sent the spirit of wisdom and knowledge to guide your people in all their ways. At the beginning of this new school year, we ask that you bless the students and teachers, the staff, and the families of the Northwest Catholic family, that together we may grow in faith, hope, and love as we learn from you and from each other. Expand the horizons of our minds that we may grow in wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Deepen our commitment to seek the truth of your ways, and enliven our faith to reach out to those in need. We ask all of this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, so again, my name is Kelly Morrison. I'm the Director of School Counseling, and I work with students A through G.
Hi, I'm Mary Jo Foreign. I am a 20-year member of the school counseling department, and I work with students' last names H through O.
And I am Allison Owsianko, and I am working with students P through Z.
And then Mr. Tyler is having some technical difficulties, so hopefully he'll be able to join us. But he is our school social worker that works in our department, and he works with all students. Mr. Tyler, are you there? I see him signed on. Nope. Okay. He works with all students. Any kind of emotionality problems, students can come down if their school counselor is not available.
No, I can't find anything.
Mr. Tyler, we can hear you.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll be able to join soon and he can talk a little bit more. But what does a school counselor do? So we are here for your academic counseling. So that is to make sure that your student has the courses that they need in order to graduate from Northwest Catholic. They will need 26 credits in order to graduate. We are also here for the whole college and career counseling piece. You will hear a little bit from Ms. Owsianko and Ms. Foreign about the different type of activities that you can expect over the next 4 years from 9th to 12th grade and how it all comes together. And we are also here for the social emotional needs of your student. So anytime your student is feeling upset, maybe something going on home, you can contact your child's school counselor and we will absolutely work with them and the family. On orientation day, we met with all of your children and they all received a resource card, which talked about what does a school counselor do, who their counselor is, how they contact their counselor, if they're feeling upset, what should they do, as well as some apps that they could download for relaxation and things like that. Just a little bit about how your student can meet with us. Using the Teams platform, they can send us a chat that they would like to meet, and then we'll schedule a time and they come on down. Obviously, if they're upset or if it's an emergency, they just can come on down. They don't need an appointment. Now, Ms. Owsianko will talk about the 9th to 10th grade programs that we offer.
Awesome. Yes. So for 9th grade, as a school counselor, Kelly, I can't see the slide.
Is it just blank?
Keep zooming out. Hold on.
It's still up on my
Sorry,
screen.
everybody.
Yeah, it's up there.
Is that better?
I can't see it. I'm just gonna pull it up. Sorry.
I will also send out this PowerPoint presentation so that you can see the slides a little more clearer as well.
Oh. All right. Okay, sorry about that. So the ninth grade perspective, what we do is we establish
Can folks put themselves on mute if they're not speaking?
Okay, how's that? I just muted everybody, so hopefully now there's no noise. Okay. Yes, okay. So first and foremost, for the ninth graders, is our primary goal is to transition them to the high school. So coming from 8th grade, it's completely different coming into the ninth grade. So the biggest thing that we go into the classrooms, we establish the guidelines for creating a strong academic foundation, making sure that they understand what's expected of them as freshmen. We present school counseling program to parents, so what we're doing tonight. We also host a student counselor conference at the end of first quarter to discuss academic performance. So we will be meeting with your students individually to ask them how they feel the first quarter went, what they think they can do better, creating some goals for them, and then if they need any help for the next quarter, we are there for them. Partnering with leads to support academic and personal growth, which is from Mr. Haddad, so he'll talk about it in a little bit. We also introduce and administer the PSAT 9, so they will be taking that in October. So they will be able to understand kind of how the SAT works through the PSAT and receive scores that way. We also will be using Naviance, which is a program that they will use their 4 years of high school and is kind of that foundation for going into college. So they will also be doing a career exploration tool, so finding out maybe where they might fit in with after high school, what career they are looking for. And then we will be having a student counselor conference again to assess academic progress and then choose the courses for grade 10. And again, we will talk about goals and how it was from first quarter to the end of the year. So that's kind of the freshman ninth grade in a nutshell, how we work with the students in and out of the classrooms. Then for 10th grade, the primary goal is to direct students in defining and implementing academic and personal goals. So using those goals that they used in their 9th grade and making those more concrete in the 10th grade. So we present school counseling programs to parents, which we will have again in 10th grade. They will take the PSAT again, and we will review results a little bit more in depth than they did with the 9th grade. We will also do student counselor conferences in early winter, so that way we can make sure that their goals are being met, and if we need to change those, we can. We provide a comprehensive overview of high school curriculum, so that means discussing the AP program, challenging coursework, and leadership opportunities, because once they get 10 years, opportunities will be available to them. We will use Naviance again to do the personality assessment tool, to what you are, and discuss highlighting student strengths and areas of needing improvement, so that way they can work on that in the next 2 years of high school. We will then meet with them again at the end of 11th grade and again, set those academic and personal goals for the 11th grade into 12th grade. And then we will also have group sessions where seniors will actually share insights about high school experience and the college admissions process. So that's kind of 9th and 10th grade and how that's going to work. And the one thing I did forget to mention about the 9th grade is Mr. Tyler will be going into the classrooms in the next few months in their advisories, and we'll be talking about decision making. So that will also be happening freshman year as well. And now I will turn it over to Ms. Forn so she can tell you what the 11th and 12th grade years look like from a counseling perspective.
Hi. Many of the things that we do with the students in freshman and sophomore year are ongoing, and we will continue to do those throughout their 4 years. We will all have the same students for all 4 years, so that helps us to get to know them initially and to continue knowing them and building a bond with them over the 4 years. You know, as they enter junior year, college preparation becomes really important. We are a college preparatory high school. So again, we talked about that academic foundation in 9th and 10th grade. In junior year, really start to understand and begin that process of planning for post-secondary education. We will host several small group mini lessons with the juniors to help them to understand the various terminology, help them to feel comfortable. One of the things that is really helpful is we will host a college admissions panel with admissions reps from local colleges. We usually try to have different types. Someone from a large, UConn usually comes from a large public university, a representative from a smaller private college, different types of colleges and the college admissions reps can talk not only about their specific colleges, but about the college experience as well. After these mini sessions that are ongoing, that will start probably in about January of junior year. Soon thereafter, we will host an individual college planning meeting with the student and the parents, where we can look at, 5 semesters of the transcript. So we have an idea of the academic performance, and we can start to outline the college admissions process, suggest some maybe potential range of schools, and help students and their families understand that process. I will say that it's, as counselors, that is one of the favorite parts of our job, because that is, again, where we really are increasing our familiarity and knowledge of the students and getting to know them as well. That's going to be helpful, particularly moving into senior year. So currently with our seniors, we are again hosting individual meetings with seniors to make sure that they're on target with the college application process. The school counselors will write a letter of recommendation automatically. Teachers will write letters of recommendation in college as well, and we will continue to support students through that application process and into their post-secondary planning. And again, it's, I think, part of the job that we all really enjoy. Just a general note for freshman parents, like as I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I always urge a little patience and gentleness with everyone at this time of the year. For students coming into a brand new school, they are exhausted, scared, exhausted. The transition to high school is difficult no matter where you go. I always say it's sort of like starting a new job. And for our students this year, after coming from or continuing to be in a COVID experience, we're very happy to have them back in school, and we're very fortunate that we can all be there in person. I just would say it does take time. We've been enjoying getting to meet your kids. I think each day they're becoming more comfortable there. Miss Owsianko will talk later about the link crew and the orientation process. So we do hope, we are trying to welcome your students, and we're enjoying getting to know them. And I guess what I always say when I'm talking to students is to be patient and to give yourself time. And as I always say, somewhere around Columbus Day, things start to click a little bit and you feel a little bit more comfortable in your school environment. So everyone should be kind to one another during that process. I'd like to now turn it over to Christopher Haddad, who's our Director of Campus Ministry.
Good evening again. So my name is Chris Haddad. I'm Director of Campus Ministry. I've been this is my 4th year at Northwest. I spent years in ministry with students, 20 plus years in ministry with students, but am thrilled to be at Northwest. I'm, like you, also the parent of a freshman. So going through some of the same stuff that you're going through as the parent of a freshman who's making that transition into school. So I'm just going to talk briefly about a couple different things. So I'm Director of Campus Ministry, but I also run the LEADS program, which is an academic program, but also a program I spend time with the freshmen just to help them acclimate to the high school life, try to have discussions and conversations with them about some of the skills and tools that they might need to begin to develop or to continue to develop to help them be successful in their high school career. I think it's been, as much as there are challenges to the beginning of any new school year, I think it's been a great start to the year. I know I echo what a couple people have already said. Just it's exciting to have everybody back in the school. But let me talk. So let me talk quickly about Leads. We'll have I haven't met with all of the students yet in Leads. Our first meeting will be at the end of September. Just if you're wondering, Leads is an acronym that stands for Leadership, Engagement, Accountability, Determination, and Service. And I won't walk through each one of those individually, but all really important ideas that relate to the success of the students. I'll just talk quickly about engagement. Today, you probably know, if you've talked to your son or daughter, we had our activities fair. There were tons of freshmen in the activity fair, and actually sophomores as well, because were unable to hold the activity fair last year. So, and it was exciting to see the students, checking out different clubs. I know each of the tables had long lists with lots of freshmen who would sign up for things, which is great, because that engagement is so important. So I would encourage you to encourage your son and daughter to continue to look for different ways to get involved. We'll start the Leads program. The first discussion we'll have, for me, I think it's good to start by looking at where we hope the students to end up. So we have what's called the grad profile, which is up on the screen. What we hope the Northwest Catholic graduate will be when they reach, in 2025, be intellectually curious, spiritually aware, a compassionate leader, community focused, and a whole person, mind, body, spirit, imagination. So one of the things I like to do to start, which we'll do in this first class at the end of the month, is ask the students to think about each of those things and think about themselves, mind, body, spirit, imagination, and sort of take stock of where they are right now, and maybe set some goals for themselves so that they can continue. I think it's to be intentional as a student in high school is important. To know where we hope for them to end up, to have a view of the whole roadmap is important, so that they can keep themselves sort of oriented in the right direction. So again, the Leads program, we deal with we talk about a lot of different topics, from the very practical, like financial literacy, to some spiritual, to talk about some mindfulness and how to deal with the anxiety of freshman year, and how to become a better student, and all those types of things. So I am really looking forward to working with your kids in that capacity. Just a few words too about campus ministry. So as director of campus ministry, I'd like to talk about the three S's: the service, spirituality, and the social component, and all of which I think are important. You'll learn more about the sophomore service requirement that your students will have to complete as sophomores. We provide lots of different opportunities to be engaged in service, not just for sophomores, because I think service is something we should be engaged in, all the time, not just as part of to fulfill a requirement. So we have long-standing programs to deal with food insecurity. Like we have a program called Man and Meals, where we cook a meal once a month. We have lots of tutoring and mentoring programs. We work with the program called Kinetic Kids. We have a long relationship with the Catholic Worker House in Hartford, which we're starting back up next week. And we have, so some of those things require us to go out of the school and then get into the community. Some of the service work we do allows us to stay in the school. Kids will come together and work on putting together holiday cards for the folks at St. Mary Home. So things of that nature. So we believe it's important to provide opportunities for the students to stay engaged in service. Obviously, it's a Catholic school. One of the goals is for students to be spiritually aware. So as campus minister, I think it's important for me to, and for everyone in the school, but particularly my role as campus minister, to walk with the students, whatever your faith tradition, wherever you are in your faith. You may be ready to lead a rosary or really still discerning, where it is that God is calling you. I'm there. I view my goal to walk with the students in their faith journey wherever they are. We have lots of opportunities. We have some opportunities for direct prayer, where we'll get together and spend some time reading scripture and breaking that down in something we call Lectio Divina. And sometimes we just get together and talk about what's going on in the world, and look at the world through the prism of our faith or our different faith traditions. A large part of campus ministry is a ministry of presence, right? Sometimes, and I know if you've been on the tour, you've probably heard some part of this in my spiel, but high school can be a challenging time. My door is always open, and half my day I spend with students just looking for guidance or struggling. You know, if they may be there to share good news, they may be there because they're having a hard time with something in particular, and my door is always open. You know, to give the students someone to talk to, or you know, just let them vent, or to provide them some guidance or advice. There's no, and I think as I intimated, there's no faith prerequisite. So whether whatever your faith tradition and wherever that student is on the journey, the campus ministry is there for them. And then the last thing I'll say about campus is the social component. I do like to think of campus as sort of the heart of the school. You know, there's a lot of activity in campus. There's a lot of social activity there, which isn't. It's not just social fun. It's just social, like building community and building a sense of fellowship. So lots of opportunities to get together. I would, you know, if your son or daughter hasn't been into campus, in particular if they're struggling to find their place and they haven't been into campus, have them just stop by. Come see me. I'd be happy to help them, you know, get settled any further that they might need to. Now, and I'll circle back to where I started. The leads, I do work with Ms. Owsianko, who's running the Link Crew program. So I have met lots of your sons and daughters already, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to get to know them as Leads gets ramped up and as Link continues to help them with their orientation. And I think with that, I'll pass it back. Is it back to you, Allie?
Kelly, do you want me to go, or do you want to have Mike go?
You can go. And then Mike, you can go right after Allison.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right. All right, so your students did attend the freshman orientation, which is part of the Link Crew. So along with being the school counselor, I'm also the Link Crew advisor. So what that means is we have juniors and seniors who are mentors to the freshmen, helping them get acclimated to the school, answer any questions that they may have. And it really and truly helps the school climate. It's not like, oh, you're a freshman, you're a junior, everyone's kind of together. And that's what we want to be at Northwest Catholic, and that's what we strive for. So hopefully your students received that and had a lot of fun during orientation. So we have this little video that I just want to show from orientation. It's just a few seconds long. So as you see, that is what that day looked like. And each of your children were in a group and had Link leaders available to them. So we encourage them throughout the year to reach out to them if they need anything. Of course, you know, us as staff are there as well, but sometimes it works better from a peer or an upperclassman. Oh, I'm sorry if you guys could not see the video. We will definitely have it posted, so you'll be able to view it. I apologize. But also each month we will be working in the groups again, so they will be seeing their Link leaders every month. They will also be in their groups that they were in during orientation. So each month I will be working with the leads group with Mr. Haddad. And we will be working with students on different topics, and they will be in their breakout sessions and working together as a team. So that is Link Crew in a nutshell, and then hopefully your students liked it so much that they'll want to be a Link leader in a few years as a junior or senior. And if they have any questions about it or want to find out, exactly who their Link leader was, just have them reach out to me, and I will be glad to help them.
Mr. Tyler, you're up before questions.
Okay. Hello, freshman parents, and thank you for coming out tonight, sort of. Thank God for the virtual world, although I had some technical difficulties earlier tonight getting into my program here. But I'm Michael Tyler. I'm entering my 22nd year here at Northwest Catholic as a school social worker. So to start off, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been a licensed clinical social worker for over 27 years. I've worked in alcohol and drug treatment centers, hospitals, and a few other school systems before I came to Northwest. I'm a 1973 graduate of Northwest, come from a family of 10 kids, and 8 of us went through Northwest Catholic. The oldest, my sister, started here in 1966. And my 4 children came through Northwest Catholic. Lastly, I was the head football coach here for 15 years. So I have a lot of history with Northwest Catholic. I'm kind of ancient. So now a brief synopsis of my duties. First and foremost, I collaborate with school counseling, administration, faculty, and our school nurse to assist your child in their development physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. One of my duties at Northwest is to assist students who have minor special education needs. Now, we don't have a specific special education program at Northwest, but we can help with minor accommodations for students who need them. So I help facilitate our faculty's understanding of the special education needs of these students and help our students utilize the resources that we do have. We have a resource center this year in our school library. We're very excited about that. Also in school, I can help your child if they have any social or emotional concerns that arise, maybe a problem with another student. Sometimes there may be a disagreement with faculty, or perhaps a problem outside of school. I also coordinate outside referrals outside of Northwest Catholic for counseling or mentoring if needed. So I'm a good resource for issues outside of academics. And lastly, I've been involved in class presentations. I think Allison may have mentioned that over the years to freshmen and sophomores, including decision-making, goal setting, and actually more recently, stress reduction through relaxation and mindfulness techniques. So, in the work I do and the work we do, we must help our young children move away from negative self-judgment and any kind of negative self-image, which invariably leads to the increased stress and anxiety we're seeing everywhere nowadays, it seems. So in ending my little piece here, I want to take a couple of notes from the past. In the 1970s, there was a musical band called America, and they had a song named Tin Man. And a line in that song said, Oz never gave nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. So this line kind of touches on my interactions with your sons and daughters. My goal is to help them capitalize on their strengths and positive qualities, because your child have had all these built into them. They're born to be successful. We learn lessons from a couple of our classic movies, The Wizard of Oz and It's a Wonderful Life, that a Christmas classic. In Oz, we find the Tin Man always had a beautiful heart, the Scarecrow always had an exquisite brain, and the Lion always had great courage. They just had to realize this. And in the movie It's a Wonderful Life, George Bailey, played by Jimmy Stewart, learns that integrity matters, character is more important than money, And lastly, it's so important to realize your blessings, to have gratitude and appreciation for everything that we do have, because this is what brings joy and happiness into our lives. So in my interactions with your child, my goal is to help them truly realize and capitalize on their strengths and positive qualities, because they all have them. I think we need to move our children from a fixed mindset that sometimes they have that says, oh, this is just the way I am, or I can't really change, to a growth mindset, which is always in a state of becoming more and includes the thought that every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. So I'll do my best to help your child over the next 4 years recognize the miracle and the wonder of who they are. So that's it for me. Thanks for being here tonight. Welcome to Northwest Catholic. Please call us in the school counseling office whenever you need any help for anything. We are always here for you. Thanks, and now back to Mrs. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Tyler, and thank you, families, for joining. It was a pleasure to get on here and talk to you a little bit about our programs and what's to offer. And as always, we welcome you to contact us at any time if you have any questions about your son or daughter. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat at this time. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful evening.